Tonight, neighbor dispute.
At this point, it seems very draconian, the way that they're handling this.
Why a group of Webster Street residents is contesting a property line with a federal agency. Plus, delayed opening. The micro-shelter project in southeast London hits uneven ground caused by fluctuating temps. And move over. How a family of tow truck operators has turned grief over colleagues killed on the job into a safety campaign.
The slow down, move over isn't just a slogan. It's for our lives.
CTV News with Bryan Bicknell.
Good evening. Carlisle is off tonight. Thank you for joining us. You could call it a turf war brewing in northeast London. A group of homeowners says the federal government is reneging on a decades-long understanding about their unusual fence line. CTV's Daryl Newcomb brings us details.
Here. All the way over.
Marion Weeder is among the homeowners facing big changes to their properties after Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada's Research and Development Centre in northeast London decided to install a new fence. Her backyard is among 4 with bump outs that the federal government says encroaches onto their property. So the shed and gardens must be removed.
It's about 4 feet by, then it goes over to here about 50 feet.
Neighbors say the bump outs in the fence line were installed 38 years ago with the consent of the federal agency in order to preserve some pre-existing trees.
I'm standing just behind me was a tree that was over 5 feet in diameter that actually had a massive branch going over the homes.
City Councillor Peter Cuddy is frustrated that the federal agency is being so strict.
This is a perfect opportunity and a good illustration of where common sense really comes into play here.
Recently, neighbors were given a deadline to have their fences, sheds, and gardens moved because the feds will be installing a chain-link fence.
Rectify the encroachment no later than April 30th, 2026.
Weeder is also concerned about the security and privacy of 10 additional homes, arguing that a chain-link fence will allow headlights from the parking lot to shine directly into the homes.
We'd like to go back to the identical fence that we do have in the position that it exists today. If they want to sell us the property, I am more than happy for them to sell us the property.
At this point, it seems very draconian, the way that they're handling this. And we're very, very fortunate that we've had some very good MPs.
Yeah.
We started with Lindsay Matheson and then Kurt Holman, and now Peter Fragiskatos.
Fragiskatos has asked the neighbors if they're willing to consider a compromise that he can bring forward on their behalf.
The group is talking about a wood fence with adjustments made to take into account the current placement of sheds and gardens and things of that nature. I think the group is acting constructively. My intention is to take that message forward.
In the meantime, Weeder's baffled why the narrow strip of land suddenly became so important to the federal government.
All it is in behind us is grass. They've never used it.
Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
The opening of a micro-shelter project for the homeless in South London near the 401 has been delayed. Staff originally projected the site to open this month, but the city says recent weather conditions have postponed the opening because of freezing and thawing. Along with rain and snow, it's made the ground unstable. The 60 modular shelters cost the city roughly $1.2 million. A new opening date has not yet been set. The deadline has passed for employees at the Cami Assembly Plant in Ingersoll to take buyout packages. Initially offered in mid-December, employees had the option to take 6 months' pay plus future options amid uncertainty about the future of the plant. According to Unifor Local 88, 103 of the 200 employees who were eligible took retirement or termination packages, representing about 10% of the unionized workforce. About 1,000 people remain out of work. Beautiful but dangerous. That's how emergency officials describe the latest natural phenomenon to blanket shorelines around the Great Lakes this winter. CTV's Scott Miller tells us why.
Waves violently crash against monstrous ice shelves that have formed along the shoreline of Kincardine.
You know, every winter we get it. We wonder when the lake's going to start to freeze over. And of course, we're wondering when people are going to go out and see how it looks and how far they're going to go out.
Ice shelves cover most of Kincardine's shoreline. Even its southern pier is covered in ice. It's a similar story along most of Lake Huron's entire shoreline, as waves have carried accumulating ice and snow to shore. With no place to go, the ice and snow go up, sometimes 10 to 15 feet in the air, creating beautiful but dangerous conditions for those mistakenly heading out onto the mountainous structures.
When they look like they are solid mounds, they're actually caves and they're hollow inside. So going and venturing out on top of them is something we don't recommend at all, because you could fall through, and to be quite honest, no one's around. So it's incredibly dangerous for people in the public to do that.
Watson says at least a couple of times a year, Kincardine's emergency services respond to someone walking out on the ice shelves. Thankfully, no one has fallen through recently, but Watson says if someone did, it would be nearly impossible to save them.
So if you can imagine someone falling through a top of an ice cave, who's going to see them? Once we get out here, is it something practical that we can actually go out and help someone and save them? We have to make that determination. We're going to do everything we can, obviously, to save someone and save a life. But in circumstances like this, there's so many unknowns that we don't want to ever put people at risk.
Watson says although majestic, the ice shelves along Kincardine shoreline or any shoreline are simply too unstable to be walking on. They can change any second, and death is almost a certainty if you fall through.
Don't go past the sand edge. Like, as soon as you start seeing that ice, there's water underneath it. The water got up there somehow. So stay off the ice, enjoy the scenery, enjoy a sunset.
In Kincardine, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Thank you, Scott. And high temperatures today prompted flood watches in several local watersheds. Warnings began to roll out on Wednesday and now cover a wide swath of the region. Water levels are expected to peak overnight, with flows remaining high headed into next week. And this is what it looked like along the Thames River in West London today, with high winds and water flowing rapidly. Residents are reminded to stay away from all bodies of water.
We're live inside the JR Expo Center here at the Western Fair District, and I'm joined by Rob Lumsden, who is the Taste X show manager. Thank you so much for having us, Rob. Folks starting to come in now. A lot of our viewers would have known this as the Wine and Food Show for many years, and it's been rebranded. Tell us a little bit about what folks can expect with the change.
Yeah, we did this show for about 18 years, different iterations, so we thought it was time to just expand what we were offering. So more would be the word this year. We've got over 1,000 different flavors, as we like to say, from your classic beer, wine, spirits, ciders, etc. Now we're adding a lot of non-alcoholic components, loose leaf teas, coffees, kombuchas, ready to drink, all kinds of different things under one roof. A lot of elements of the classic show, but more would be the main thing that we're doing now. It's just really expanding what we've done in the past.
Yeah, you certainly have. You have the space here to do so, and we have a lot of different food options as well. And of course, entertainment. We can hear the band that is starting to play for tonight.
Yeah, Wing Night, the band playing tonight, which is going to be super cool. Our exhibitors are the star of the show. Can't do the show without them. It's our job to add the entertaining elements to our customers when they come in here. So Wing Night, the band tonight, 90s hip hop, fantastic band. And then tomorrow we're going to go all day. We're going to go 12 to 5, and then in the evening 6 to 11 cap it off with Yacht Rock, which is smooth 70s, early 80s kind of rock there. Culinary demonstrations from local celebrities throughout the weekend as well. So little something for everybody, and of course all of our exhibitors, food and drink that everybody's come to love.
Yeah, you've thought about it all, it sounds like, especially those folks who are in for the dry January with the non-alcoholic beverages and the smell in here. We were discussing this, Rob. I was like, what am I smelling? And you said?
Everything. It's, just more is the word of the day. As you mentioned, a lot of that feedback was just expand what you're offering. You mentioned dry January, and that's a lot of people are going the non-alcoholic route, and that's the fastest growing market in food and beverage right now. So we really wanted to latch onto that, offer what we can, and give people that don't drink the option to come to the event. It's not just a drink show, it's a tasting show.
Yes, but for now, we are going to taste a drink together, and cheers to a good weekend. Thanks so much. All right. Ooh. That's delicious. That's delicious. You know what's not so good? The weather. I am going to tell you that we're in for it. A mixed bag of weather for tomorrow. Our temperature dropping tonight. We have a wind warning that is still in effect, and that's all thanks to a low pressure system that pushed through earlier today. And wind gusts were up to 90 kilometers per hour throughout the day today. We are expecting the winds to start to subside as we head into the evening, and in behind that is another system that we are tracking. Another big low pressure system will move through late day tomorrow. With that, we'll see our temperatures climb back up to slightly above seasonal before they topple down. And for Sunday, strong winds shifting over northwest, and then we are talking about flurries as we head into Sunday. So again, a little bit of everything for the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll break down the timing of that coming up a little later in the show, but for now, I am going to send it back to you in the newsroom. Carlisle or Bryan? It's Bryan.
Yeah, it's Bryan tonight. Thank you, Rita. The province is suing Keel Digital Solutions for what it calls fraudulent misrepresentation relating to contracts with the Ministry of Colleges and Universities. The same company is at the center of the Skills Development Fund scandal. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris with the details.
The Ford government wants $27 million from Keel Digital Solutions. For 3 years, funding flowed from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities for an online program to offer mental health support to students. The government now accuses the company of deceit and obstruction, of inflating the number of help sessions to drive up its payout. In a filing with Ontario's Superior Court, the government writes, the false reports caused the Crown to pay the corporate defendants millions of dollars that they otherwise would not have been paid. The government's claims haven't been tested in court. Last month, the OPP's anti-rackets branch launched an investigation into this. Keel has denied wrongdoing and says a counterclaim is coming. In a statement, their COO calls the government suit deeply flawed, built on misstatements and outright inaccuracies, stressing that Keel Digital has never been involved in any fraudulent activity. And they fully expect the government to be compelled to retract its claims, apologize, and answer for the recklessness and malice that drove this case. This suit puts the spotlight back on the Minister of Labour and the $2.5 billion Skills Development Fund.
Speaker, we don't need anyone on this side of the House to tell us to support our first responders, to support their training, to support their mental health.
Puccini's admitted to boosting Keel's low-scoring application for cash. The suit makes clear the money went out the door after a deep dive into the company's billing had begun.
It doesn't make a lot of sense for one ministry to issue or to launch an audit into a company and then for another ministry to give them $7 million. That's either incompetence or corruption.
Puccini's rinkside outing and a trip to Paris to spend time with Keel-connected friends have been under scrutiny. The Premier said this week he has no plans to move his minister.
With any program that large, there's going to be tweaks, and that's what we're going to do. And do I have confidence in David Puccini? Yes, I do.
Baffling to the Liberals.
How can the minister still be there? The minister's still there because the Premier is actively engaged, and his government, in covering this up.
Puccini is under investigation by Ontario's Integrity Commissioner, checking if he broke any ethics rules in awarding taxpayer funds. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Still grieving the loss of friends and colleagues killed on the job, a Tillsonburg area family of tow truck operators is demanding the public take notice. It has wrapped one of their trucks with powerful messages and reminders to slow down and move over. CTV's Sean Irvin reports.
Mike and Jen Dean are just two members of a family business committed to getting drivers out of trouble. But after too many close calls and the recent death of an industry colleague, they've taken a new approach. They acknowledge the unveiling of this wrapped tow truck is a desperate attempt to protect themselves and others rushing to traumatic scenes.
And so we're honoring first responders, whether it's paramedics, EMS, fire, as well as tow truck operators, because we are considered first responders.
The key message on the truck is a declaration to slow down and move over.
The slow down, move over isn't just a slogan. It's for our lives, right? For the police officer, for the fireman, for the construction worker, for the tow truck driver.
The passion in Mike's voice reflects the frustration and fear of a father and business owner. In the last few years, the Dean family has said goodbye to a close friend killed while helping a stranded motorist. And they've also dodged far too many near misses of their own. The closest call for Jen, who was also an auxiliary police officer, occurred just days after the recent 401 crash.
I was doing a recovery of a rolled over vehicle, and a vehicle swerved towards me. The driver was laughing, thought it was funny, and almost killed me and killed the tow truck that stopped to block for me.
It is hoped this truck will help change driver attitudes. Now, one thing tow operators are pushing for is a change in the color of their hazard lights to improve safety. The Deans say the towing industry wants lights similar in color to those of other emergency responders.
The red and blue lights bring that notice of they think it's police. So instinctively, what do you do when you see a police officer? You slow down. Well, if that's going to be enough for somebody to slow down so that I don't die at the end of the day, that's good enough for me. And it would be nice if they would change the laws so that we can have the lights that we need to have for safety.
Near Tilsonburg, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Students and staff at St. Thomas Aquinas High School in West London were evacuated from the building this afternoon after a noxious substance was discharged. CTV News has learned pepper spray was discharged into a small area. It made its way into the building's HVAC system, which was shut down after staff detected a foreign smell. Students and staff were sent out as a precaution until the fire department gave the all clear. London police have launched 2 new citizen advisory councils. On social media today, the LPS announcing openings on a youth advisory council as well as an adult council. Both would provide advice to the police chief. There are 24 positions to fill. With thousands of people on the guest list, 2 OHL supervans tied the knot last night at center ice during the Windsor Spitfires game. CTV's Travis Fortnum has more on the Chatham couple's nuptials.
For one Chatham couple, I Do didn't happen in a church or banquet hall. It happened at center ice. Surrounded by friends, family, some mascots, and thousands of Windsor Spitfires fans.
It's definitely a unique experience, and I didn't expect this to happen at all.
Sheldon Cadott and Daleen Trudell tied the knot Thursday night during the second intermission of a Spits home game on the team's Elvis-themed night at the WFCU Center. And it's a bit of a full-circle moment for the pair, who got engaged on the very same ice last spring. Sheldon dropping to one knee during an intermission game of human bowling.
That was a fun moment. They let me grab the microphone to propose to her, and she said yes, so I won.
In the fall, it was the team who came to them with a big idea for their big day.
I do.
We get a call from Windsor saying, hey, do you want to do the on-ice wedding? And we said sure, and now we're standing here because it's the day to do it.
I do. Ceremony, the ice time, a private suite for family and friends, and even a hotel room for the night, all covered, making this the first ever wedding held during a Windsor Spitfires game. And despite the crowd watching, the couple says the moment still felt intimate.
It's really nice to know that in one way or form we'll go down in history for doing something like this. So half these people, we won't see them again. So it'll just be our friends and family that we brought. We'll see them again and they can nag us for it. So we can manage that.
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
As the U.S. talks about the potential land strikes targeting drug cartels operating abroad, could Donald Trump have Canada in his sights? And fishing fanatics are being asked to think twice before stepping onto the ice.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. New video from Minneapolis shows the moments before the deadly shooting of a woman from the ICE officer's perspective, moments before he opened fire.
I'm not mad at you.
Renee Goods speaking to the man who would pull the trigger seconds later. He films her license plate and circles the vehicle when the shooting takes place.
Get out of the mall.
Vigils have been held across the country in memory of the 37-year-old mother and U.S. citizen. Protests also continued today in Minneapolis in what has become a flashpoint in the Trump administration's crackdown in U.S. cities. Meantime, Donald Trump talking tough on Mexico, telling Fox News that land strikes against drug cartels in that country are coming. Trump has said he believes cartels are operating in Canada, and that has officials on both sides of the border watching his next move. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Donald Trump claimed the capture of Nicolas Maduro was about stopping narco-terrorism. Now Trump is signaling he may send American troops onto Mexican soil.
We've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by water, and we are going to start now hitting land with regard to the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico.
Mexico has previously turned down Trump's offer of military intervention, but is concerned Trump will act on his own, like he did in Venezuela.
And I think for Canada, that's also dangerous. Don't forget that when we started this year, a lot of the discussion was around "quote unquote" fentanyl flows across borders, and he lumped Canada and Mexico into the same basket.
The U.S. has declared 8 cartels terror organizations. 7 of them are based in Mexico. During his meeting with Sheinbaum last September, the Prime Minister acknowledged some of them operate in Canada.
With respect to transnational crime, organized crime, cartels, gangs, the unfortunate fact is that there are gangs from one country in another country, but also vice versa.
In recent months, Mexico and Canada have stepped up efforts to disrupt trafficking networks, including raids to close in on Ryan Wedding, an alleged Canadian cocaine kingpin, believed to be protected by the Sinaloa cartel. On social media, the White House warned, F around and find out. After Venezuela, after threats to invade Greenland, and now Mexico, analysts say Canada could be most exposed.
If you are weak and you are doing stuff Trump doesn't like, and you can be an ally or you can be an adversary, right? You can be Canada or you can be Venezuela, but you get FAFO'd.
In a recent interview with the New York Times, Trump said that he's not constrained by international law or Congress, but by his own morality. He says that's the only thing that can stop him. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
First responders are reminding fishing enthusiasts that no ice is safe, especially with the recent mild temperatures. CTV's Rob Cooper has more near Barrie.
Some people were getting an extra early start on the weekend by hitting the ice on Lake Simcoe for some fishing.
I'm going to go out, yeah. I'm going to go out. I got my float suit, so I've got some precautions with me, and yeah, we'll see. I'll check my way out there, see if it's safe, and set up and spend the day there.
People are being warned by York Regional Police's Marine Unit to be aware it's a risky time to be out in many spots on the lake.
As police officers, we would never tell anyone the ice is safe. Everyone has to check for themselves.
The YRP Marine Unit took this video from its helicopter last week over Roaches Point in Georgina. That's Snake Island in the background. The video clearly shows a mixture of ice and open water. Police and ice hut operators say this kind of inconsistency is normal for this time of year. Police warning people about the short-term weather forecast too.
As we all know, the weather is getting warmer the next couple of days. Really, no ice is consistent.
There are dozens of ice huts out in Cooks Bay near Guildford, an area that often gets ice first because of its protection from the wind and its shallow waters. Ice hut operators reporting up to 8 inches in some spots.
We're fortunate to be in the shelter of Cook Bay and have this thick layer of ice, but there's all sorts of places on the ice. I've got reports of 4 inches in other places, and with this warm spell coming, there's going to be lots of places that will be unsafe.
You got to be really, really careful, guys. It's not the time to go adventure. It's not the time to go play out there, you know. Stick to known paths, known trails, and of course have all your safety gear on you at all times. Bring a spud, bring a bud, have flotation, guys.
Many people by the lake came prepared not just for their safety, but for the big catch too.
We're going for ice fishing, and we're going to catch something big. A whale, shark, probably, or something like this kind.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So anyone planning to head out anywhere on any waterway in our area this season is being reminded to always check and double check before going out. As the experts say, the ice conditions on a big lake like Simcoe is always different from one location to the other. And of course, make sure you always take the proper safety precautions. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Guildford.
And we go back now to the Western Fair District, the Taste X event. That's where we find Rita, who is live tonight. Well, Rita, we're hearing a lot about flooding. We're hearing a lot about the ice tonight, but that wind, just absolutely insane out there today.
Yeah, it certainly was, Brian. Gusty winds upwards of 90 to 100 kilometers per hour. And of course, we had Environment Canada issue that wind warning across the region. The good news is that wind is expected to subside after 9 tonight. And another big weather story today is record-breaking daytime highs. 13 degrees are high. Record was last at 1949 at 10 degrees. So certainly mild January thaw impacting the amount of snow we've had. And of course, as we head into the night, those temperatures starting to tumble. Right now, we're sitting anywhere between 2 to 5 degrees and will drop even further overnight. You could see a few clouds, the bulk of that weather system that moved through earlier today, and it brought some snow further to the north, some rain showers for us early this morning. It is moving out. We are tracking the next one that will move in this weekend, and it will cause a bit of a disruption to your weekend plans on Saturday. Here's how that plays out on the forecast model. So tonight, cloud cover. Tomorrow morning, cloudy, and the winds will pick up. They'll shift. They'll be out of the east ahead of this system. And then with that, we'll see first rainfall transitioning to snow. The activity moving in around 2 p.m. and then widespread snowfall throughout Midwestern Ontario. Into Sunday, we're talking lake effect flurries developing as the wind in behind that low pressure system shifts to a more northwesterly flow. So mixed rain snow for Saturday afternoon, and then more snowfall and flurries for your Sunday. This evening, great night to come down here and stay indoors. The winds are still gusting out of the northwest, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, but they will ease after midnight. We are going to drop to -2 early Saturday morning, feeling like -6, and you'll feel that because, of course, the last 48 hours have been very mild right across the board. We are going to recover Saturday, and again, we'll be above seasonal with that rain-snow mix moving in. Around 6 degrees our daytime high, and then we drop to near seasonal values for your Sunday at -2. Again, that's where we're supposed to be this time of year. Keep in mind that the winds do shift on Sunday, and that's why we'll be dealing with those scattered flurries across the board. Heading into Monday, nice mix of sun and cloud. Take that in because we have another system that'll move through Tuesday and Wednesday, and then a big temperature drop. So if you enjoyed it today, it's going to be the complete opposite on Friday, a week from today. -6, feeling close to about -14, 15, depending on where you are. Midwestern Ontario, similar conditions in store for you. Wet snow possible tomorrow as that low pressure system lifts from the south. Mild air will have us at 2 degrees and then dropping to -5 for Sunday morning. Light snow will be the story for you Sunday through to Wednesday. And then that big temperature drop, cold Arctic air will move right back into play by Friday. So we certainly had a taste of spring-like conditions yesterday and today, but I hope you weren't fooled by that because we are nowhere near spring, Brian. We certainly have a long way to go. A good place to warm up, though, is here inside the JR Expo Center at the Western Fair District. As we mentioned, hundreds of different beers to try and 300 wine options. And if you don't want to drink but you want to try the food, there are non-alcoholic beverages as well. Lots happening tonight until 11, and then again tomorrow there's a morning into the afternoon and then an evening one as well, and there's music too. So come on down, stay warm as the temperatures tumble. Brian, I remembered this time because I put the wine away.
That sounds awesome. Okay, thanks so much, Rita. Some concerning news for job seekers in the London and area as unemployment numbers saw a sharp increase last month, and we'll have the outlook for the country as we start the new year.
Coming up on the iHeartRadio Pure Country Countdown this weekend, we talk about which country stars could be reuniting this year and which star you'll see on Netflix before the end of the month. Join us on the iHeartRadio Pure Country Countdown this weekend, Saturday at 9 and Sunday at 4.
London's unemployment rate saw a sharp increase last month. In December, it spiked to 7.6%, up from 7% in November. Meanwhile, the national unemployment rate rose to 6.8%, up from 6.5% the month before. The U.S. Supreme Court did not issue a decision today in the high-profile case challenging Donald Trump's tariffs. The case is centered around whether Trump overstepped his presidential powers by using a decades-old law and declaring a national emergency to impose sweeping tariffs. The delay keeps tariffs and uncertainty in place for businesses and American trading partners. Canada's restaurant industry is under stress, facing inflation and rising food prices. Thousands of locations are expected to go out of business as more consumers rein in spending. Here is CTV's Pat Foran.
When it comes to spending money in restaurants, more people say they're trying to watch their finances and eat at home.
Definitely, yeah. We have been watching how much we're spending on eating out at restaurants.
I will try to go to fewer restaurants this year, I think, just given the prices.
Prices has gone up a lot.
In the last couple of years, it's been extremely difficult for restaurants in general.
According to a study from Dalhousie University, last year in Canada, 7,000 restaurants closed and went out of business. The university is now projecting another 4,000 restaurants will shut their doors this year. Sylvain Charlebois says consumers are becoming more frugal with their food budgets.
If they do dine out, they'll dine in at home, order in, or get food delivered to avoid the tips, to avoid the expensive bottle of wine and things like that.
Along with rising food prices and inflation, Restaurants Canada also blames increasing costs for rent, insurance, and wages. The group says 41% of restaurants are operating at a loss or barely breaking even, but they're trying to keep their prices low because they know customers are watching their budgets.
There's an affordability challenge for Canadians right now. There's less discretionary spending, so less discretionary spending means pulling back on restaurant spending.
Last year, when there was a 2-month tax break on restaurant meals, prepared foods, snacks, and some alcoholic beverages, restaurants saw an increase in sales of 10%. Restaurant Canada says the tax break should be brought back and made permanent.
Let's remove GST off of food. Why are we taxing food? We just think that is a poor public policy.
Charlebois agrees.
I would say we need to eliminate all taxes on food, no matter where it's consumed.
Another reason restaurant sales are down is Canadians are drinking less, and alcohol sales are a profitable category for the hospitality industry. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Strength in the basic materials sector helped the TSX gain more than 230 points. The Dow was up almost 240, the NASDAQ 191. The loonie slipped 0.16 of a cent. Gold jumped just over $40 an ounce, and oil rose $1.36 a barrel. We'll have the latest influenza figures for the country following the Christmas holidays. Is the wave of cases getting better or worse? The early and intense rise of flu cases this season has put a major strain on emergency rooms. Although nationally, the number of new cases appears to be falling. CTV's Abigail Beeman takes a look at the new numbers.
We just don't have the ability to look after the people who walk through our doors.
The situation in Alberta hospitals is so dire, the Alberta Medical Association wants the province to declare a state of emergency. It comes just weeks after this 44-year-old father died after allegedly waiting 8 hours for care in the ER.
People are not surprised to wait 16, 18, 24 hours to be seen with a medical emergency in an emergency department. If that isn't a state of emergency, I don't know what is.
The government says the calls are misguided and measures the exceptionally busy system has taken are in line with past winters, including canceling some scheduled surgeries. Meanwhile, new national flu numbers up to January 3rd show the percentage of positive tests is down. Outbreaks are down and hospitalizations are stable. But at this Northern Ontario hospital, where the flu has forced patients into dining rooms and hallways for the first time in a long time, a drop in flu cases alone won't solve the problem.
Waiting in hospital for alternate discharge locations, limited primary care in the community, and the aging population and comorbidities are still impacting our volumes.
Ottawa, too, forced to use dining rooms and hallways.
We are certainly experiencing a surge of patient volumes, and it is largely related to potentially influenza, but also complications related to influenza.
While Newfoundland and Labrador now reporting 2 flu deaths, with the latest case numbers 3 times higher than the 5-year average.
We've certainly seen a little bit of an uptick in flu cases over the past week or so.
Across the country, cases among those aged 19 and younger, previously leading the way, have dropped off sharply, while cases among those 65 and older have soared. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Longtime Liberal MP and former Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland resigned today to take on a new role with Ukraine. Freeland's absence from the Liberal caucus will leave Prime Minister Mark Carney 2 seats shy of a majority government. A by-election for her Toronto riding must be called within 180 days to fill the seat. Freeland was appointed as an unpaid advisor on economic development by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday. That prompted critics to say she should have resigned before taking up a role for a foreign government. 3 local players have cracked Team Canada's women's roster for the upcoming Olympics.
Julia Gosling, London, Ontario.
London's Julia Gosling, Natalie Spooner, and Ella Shelton made the 23-player lineup today. Gosling plays for the Seattle Torrent of the PWHL, while Spooner and Shelton are on the Toronto Scepters. Team Canada opens the tournament February 5th against Finland.
I mean, it's a dream come true. I'm so excited, overcome with emotion, but really just looking forward to getting there with our team.
Thanks to our viewer Wayne for sharing tonight's weather snapshot. As one system exits, another one sets up to move in for Saturday. This one will bring a snow-rain mix into play Saturday afternoon, and in behind it, the temperatures drop, the winds shift, they'll be out of the northwest, and that means flurries in store for Sunday.
A new Alzheimer's drug, first approved for use in Canada back in September, is giving patients a glimmer of hope against the disease. Today, the first ever Canadian was infused with the drug, but so far there is no coverage for the cost in Canada. CTV's Adrian Gabriel now with the promise for patients and the payments too.
It's starting right now.
With the press of a button, the miracle that is modern medical science goes to work.
I say to anybody who needs this procedure that if they can get it, get it.
Sharon Runge began experiencing mild memory loss about 4 years ago.
Probably in the last year or so, the diagnosis of Alzheimer's has been made.
The Runge family have been waiting for Health Canada to approve this drug that will gift them life's most valuable commodity, time.
It's a historic moment for people living with Alzheimer's disease and their families in Canada.
Today marked the first ever infusion of lecanemab in Canadian history, administered by neurologist Dr. Sarah Mitchell.
It's a monoclonal antibody. It goes in and it basically removes the bad plaques from the brain. It slows down the progression of the disease by about 30%.
Canada is the last of the G7 nations to approve lecanemab. As of today, it still isn't covered by any province, and that comes at a cost.
$32,000 Canadian, and that is per year. We are hoping that we can have equal access for all Canadians to this drug, and that requires government support.
Any future funding of the drug has received some public pushback.
Well, I'd say they should walk in our shoes.
The infusions yield the best outcomes for those battling the early stages of the disease. While Sharon admits she's unaware of her cognitive deterioration, her sense of humor is on point when we ask that she share her age.
I'm 16.
No.
And the love that she has for her children, as well as her husband Dallard, remains as present as ever.
I am so fortunate to have met him. He's the most important thing in my life.
The Runges now have hope that their loving life together will also have longevity. The troublesome protein can gather in the brain decades before symptoms arrive. The next step is testing whether this drug can help offset Alzheimer's in asymptomatic patients. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Providing mental health therapy for students without missing class. North America's first recovery high school opens in Ontario with support from Bell Let's Talk. CTV's Pauline Chan recently paid a visit as they aim to help youth stay in school.
For a generation of Canadians, Degrassi defined their adolescence, its joys and its struggles. And for one of its stars, Stacey Mistyshin, the show also coincided with a lot of things going on in her life.
I was struggling with eating disorders, anxiety, depression. I had all these issues.
Fast forward, and Mistyshin is now a mental health instructor at Ontario Shores, one of the recipients of this year's grants from the Bell Let's Talk Community Mental Health Fund. The $25,000 will go specifically to a program called Recovery High School.
This is the first program of its kind in North America, and it started right here at Ontario Shores. The goal is simple: help students stay in school while getting the mental health support they need.
Mistyshin says when Degrassi ended, she immersed herself in education about mental and physical well-being.
And physical mental health is so connected, right? So I always knew that I wanted to talk more about mental health, especially after I lost my brother to suicide.
That was in 2010, the same year Bell Let's Talk Day began. That's why Bell Let's Talk Chair Mary Deacon says centres like Ontario Shores are so important. And as she handed over the corporate check, she had two particular young people in mind, her two brothers, who both died by suicide.
One in particular, Ted, started struggling with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, when he was a very little boy. And that was at a time when there were no effective medications or treatments for obsessive compulsive disorder.
Bell Let's Talk Day this year is on January 21st, and the theme is taking a moment for mental health.
We wanted to build into Bell Let's Talk Day this year the notion of agency and people being empowered. There are things, in spite of what's going on in the world, there are things we can do to improve and support our mental well-being.
And Mistyshin and the staff at Ontario Shores are there to help with that. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Building a backyard rink is a Canadian tradition, but an Eastern Ontario man is taking it to new heights. He's built an indoor ice rink in the second-story loft of his barn. Here is CTV's Peter Sperling.
It's not your typical homemade ice rink.
John Ryan built this in the second-story loft of his Perth, Ontario barn.
If you know me, I'm a pack rat, and the first floor is full. There's no room.
That's right. Ground floor is for storage. Upstairs for fun.
It's fun and it's helpful.
Keep the stick tight against your skate.
Originally built for his children years ago. Now his grandchildren get to enjoy skating close to home.
Like, mostly every day. Like when I come home from school. Because when I'm bored, I can just come here.
Do you have fun here?
It's great for the kids. They're able to come and skate at Nana and Papa's anytime they want. It helps them practice their skills for hockey.
He says the structure is sturdy, designed to hold the weight of bales of hay. He tried the traditional outdoor rink first, but that wasn't his thing.
Laziness. I'm tired of packing the snow down and watering stuff like this. This, once you've got it in, my son and I think 4 hours, we had it ready to go. Throw the hose in it and walk away.
Of course, he added boards, lights.
Taylor, are you ready for some more hockey?
And a staircase to make getting up and down easier.
Ryan's been doing this for 16 years now, and even though it is indoors, it's still very weather dependent.
You take the pucks and the nets off and let it puddle up. Once she gets hard, she's good to go again.
With hopefully many seasons to look forward to.
Well, my grandkids now live behind me, and my son has got a baby on the way, so we'll be doing it till we can't do it no more.
Peter Sperling, CTV News, Perth.
Well done. Nice job right there. Thank you very much for joining us. That is it for us. For your latest local updates, you can always head to our website. Our next newscast is at 11 tonight. I'm Bryan Bicknell. From all of us here, have a great night.